What's up, guys? I'm Rio Pesino. This is The Reboot, and on this show, we normally cover game news, game previews, game reviews, and events. But on this show, we're going to cover something different, something that's actually taken for granted in all video games today. Not graphics, not gameplay, not controls, but game audio. So we'll cover that topic in just a bit, but first, let's take you to the wrap. A wrap-up of gaming news. On a previous episode of The Reboot, we reported that the British Board of Film Classification has banned Rockstar Games' Manhunt 2. Rockstar filed an appeal to the ban, and as a result, the Video Appeals Commission ruled in favor of Rockstar by a 4-3 margin, which means the game may be released in the United Kingdom after all. The BBFC will consider the VAC's decision, but in the end, somebody's going to be SOL. One of two things could happen here. Either the game gets released with a rating, or it goes to court. If you're going around store shelves looking for your Nintendo Wii this holiday season, odds are you're pretty much screwed. It's pretty hard to find one of those systems out there. But if you already own a Nintendo Wii, you're in some luck, as Nintendo introduced a new feature on its virtual console called Wii Gifting. Now, how that works is you buy a game on the virtual console, and you can go ahead and send that over to one of your buddies as a gift. So now you can go ahead and spread all that old school retro gaming love. Don King is known for promoting his own boxers, but now he's promoting his own video game. 2K Sports announced a new boxing game called Don King Presents Prize Fighter. It's going to be developed by Venom Games and will be released on the Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360, and the Nintendo DS. Now, not much is known about the game yet, but if I had to guess, you're probably going to have a boxer, have him climb the ranks, win the title, bite some ears, talk about eating your children, and eating sloppy joes and Gale a la Mike Tyson. But I guess we'll find that out when the game comes out in spring of 2008. On the last episode of The Reboot, I gave you my list of 10 games to buy this holiday season. Detroit prosecutor Kim Worthy has created a list of her own of the 10 most violent games to avoid this holiday season. So drum roll, please. Let's check out the list. And with the release of this list, one of two things could happen here. Either the kids are going to look at it and say, I'm not buying any of these games because they're all pretty damn old, or they're going to print out this list, give it to their mom and say, I want all these games for Christmas. That's the wrap. As video games have developed over the years, game audio has had to keep pace from the bleeps and bloops of the early games to the cinema quality, professionally voiced sound of today's games. Now, we decided to speak with a couple of professionals in the industry about game audio, and they gave their thoughts on the state of the art.
We're now competing, the gaming industry is competing with films. So when you come home, you have choices. You can either watch TV, watch a movie, read a book, or play a game. So I think we're competing with Hollywood and all of the a lot of the large filmmakers, so we really need to sound as good as they do.
Today, I guess it's a lot more rich and more complex. There's a lot more focus on cinematic techniques, like sub-mixing and sort of emotional content.
Your species needs to learn its place.
Audio, as you know, has so much emotion. You turn the mute button on and like the emotion just kind of drops out. Or you can take some piece of audio and lay it against a visual and evoke a different emotion than a different piece of audio may evoke.
In film and television, music is considered background music for the most part because it's story and dialogue that drive what that form of medium is. That's what tells the story in film and television is dialogue. So music is secondary. Music is underneath, underscore, background music. That's what it's referred to.
In fact, I think in some ways, don't want to berate the film guys, but our job's a lot harder. When you see a film, you know what's going to happen next. You can always predict. It's very linear. You know exactly when that explosion is going to happen. You know exactly if it's going to happen over a piece of dialogue, so you can attenuate volumes and change that. Our job's not so easy. A bunch of content gets thrown against a wall, and depending upon what the player chooses to do, the soundtrack evolves from there.
In video games, it's action and interactivity that drives the medium, So for that reason, the music has to be out front and in your face, and I call it foreground music, What we do, every scene is the action scene.
Audio is 1/3 of the experience. You have art, you have gameplay, and you have audio, and all of it's combined to make the experience. And sometimes in audio, we will make concessions to improve the gameplay because gameplay is king. And that's what we're trying to do, is support it with the emotional impact that you need to have a cool game experience.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
And I know in today's video game industry there are plenty of celebrity voices in the games, but now there are also anonymous voice actors lending their voice to the games as well.
You are, all of you, vermin. Cowering in the dirt, thinking, what? That you might escape the coming fire? I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. A rogue Spectre's trouble. It's Saren. He hates humans. Set the charges. Destroy the entire colony.
I should start a record label.
Then I could get some chicks!
So, Blazing Angels 2, Chronicles of Riddick, Hulk Ultimate Destruction, Jade Empire, I'm sorry.
Did you do 50 Cent Bulletproof also?
Yes, I did 50 Cent Bulletproof, thank you very much. I was a mob boss.
What are these kind of guys? You know what I'm saying?
What are you looking at?
You got a problem with me? I don't think so.
There's a stronger flow going to trying to make this really cinematic experience. And the only way to do that is with professional actors.
Well, the first game I worked on that had voices was an expansion pack for Wing Commander 2. And all of the voices were done by employees of the company. And it was probably the most horrible sounding thing you've ever heard in your life.
So then they thought, oh, we better get some actors in here. And then the games became more and more story, you know, because now we have the cinematics in the games and the gameplay. And you got the beautiful systems at home that people have to watch these things and play these things on. So if the voices don't seem believable and, you know, part of the story, people tune out.
And what we do is breathe life into the characters that are in the director, producer's, developer's mind. And that's the real challenge.
He's a sort of rodent-looking dude.
I played Nitrous Oxide, evil guy from outer space.
So, you have things like to race, eh?
And Papu Papu.
Papu Papu no like.
And also Crash, of course. Yeah. You know, a lot of people poo-poo Australian table wines, but I'm here to tell you that they're great.
As a matter of fact, for that exact creature, I did do the voice work for that creature, but that was the only thing I did. Believe me, hundreds and millions of man hours went into making the audio for this game, and I maybe did, you know, 5 of those man hours compared to the 11-man audio team we had working on the project.
Can you mimic that guy's voice?
There you go.
Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys have a new appreciation for game audio. And the next time you're playing Halo 3 or Mass Effect, listen. On the next show, we're going to cover the life of a pro gamer. We actually interviewed 3 gamers this time around, and these guys actually get paid to play video games. So make sure to check that out next time. And in case you haven't noticed, the Reboot is everywhere. We have a YouTube page, we're on MySpace, we also have a couple of applications on rebootshow.com, including a Facebook app and an iPhone application. Also, if you want to play me online, you can on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is RE10, that's REE10. I'm Rio Pesino for the Reboot, and we'll check you out next time.